Hi, and welcome to Fuzzy Guard, Esports Stories from the Bar. My name is SamDDing, and I've been in this industry for about 5 years. Now let's bring some other esports professionals to the pub. No
It'll be
sweat,
good.
so I'll just do a bit of a, hey, here we go, Fuzzy Guard, we're back. Rookang, what is going on, my friend? How are you?
All good, Sam. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, man.
I appreciate it, man. It'll be good to know, to have a good talk and just talk about things, not just Tekken. We have lives outside Tekken. We do other things, where but yeah, thank you so much, Sam, for having me on, man.
Absolutely. You see, this was my rule of thumb that if I was getting Tekken players in or Strive commentators or Dragon Ball, that my only rule of thumb is I'm not going to ask you anything about Tekken. Do
you know what though, Sam? I bet you anything, that the term Tekken will come up though, because sometimes when I'm like out and about, like I'm sitting down, someone's like, I'm like, okay, we're not going to mention anything about gaming, and it somehow comes up. It's crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, like, it's just kind of what we love. Like, I mean, none of us would be here if we weren't almost obsessed about this thing.
Yeah.
But what you were saying
Definitely.
there, lives outside of Tekken, I think is a really important thing and not a lot of people. I was just saying just before we started recording that's the idea behind this, because if I just YouTube Rookang, I'm sure I can find like.
You'll find a Hellsuit video.
That's it.
Yeah. When you're commentating like the TWT finals, Sam. Remember, the Hellsuit, when one comes out, it's a vortex instantly. It's like I'm just flipping a coin. I'm flipping a coin. You're just basically guessing now. It's like I give you two options, one or two. If you guess wrong, you have to guess again.
Yeah, absolutely. But just so for the record, I went full Irish today, and I decided to pick up a bottle of Jameson.
Yeah. Sam, I've heard a lot about the Jameson, but I've not. I feel like I've had it once or twice, but I'm not like. I don't remember what it tastes like. Is it like S tier, S plus tier, or is it is it in the B tier, B A tier?
Yeah, it's really weird because being from Ireland, I grew up on Irish whiskey. That was like the easiest thing, because it's normally the cheapest one to get, like here in Ireland. Like if I want like good Scotch, it costs way more just because of imports and stuff. So I don't know is the honest answer to that question. It could be, and I know some Americans love Irish whiskey, but then you've Scotch and you've Japanese as well, and it kind of different flavors and that.
I see it a lot though. I see Jamesons a lot. When people like post on Twitter and stuff, I see like the bottles of Jamesons out, and I'm just like, and even at my workplace, Sam, they used to get it out all the time. But
where do you work, dude? I need a job there.
They used to get it out all the time, and apparently it's really good. It's really good stuff. But I was just wondering, your opinion. You're saying it's good. I might need to try it. I've got the Asahi here.
Oh, so let's go.
This is the good stuff, man. I need one after work today. I thought I'll open it on stream. Let me not fuck up the opening of the bottle. But yeah, no. Cheers, Sam. It's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made it my business, and I don't know, is this subconsciously why I keep getting invited back to doing like Bandai Namco shows, but I will buy a bottle of Irish whiskey in the airport. Because usually if we're doing any shows in Europe or whatever, you go in the airport and it's like €20 for a litre, and so I just buy two, one for me and the people I'm around with, and one for like the production team. Right up until I went to UFA, and it was the first time I was working with that production team. So I said, look, I'll just pick them up. Like, I think I got them two because they have a huge team. And I gave one to Damascus, right? I didn't realize Damascus is Muslim, dude. Doesn't drink.
So you're like shit.
I strolled up with like this big bottle. I was like, "Yo, Damascus, what's up, dude?" And he was like, "That's really nice, man. Look, I don't drink, but I'll have it for the team."
Oh man, flipping hell, no. That's mad. Some people obviously don't drink, but I think it's the thought that counts, Sam. If someone came up to me and gave me, I don't know, do you know, I was about to say something not PG.
Just a big bag of drugs or something.
You know, you know your editor. Yeah, he doesn't need to edit nothing out yet. You know, I didn't say it, so it's fine. Yeah, like, you know, if they came up to me and they gave me, I don't know, some maybe like, you know, something with mushrooms in it. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms.
Right.
You know, I don't like. I'm all right with mushrooms, but I'm not the biggest fan. You know, I would always feel like it's the thought that counts. I think it's really important. You know, even if I don't like it, you know, for someone to give me a gift like that, it's really cool. So, you know, that's really nice what you're doing, Sam, for, you know, when you go to see all these people, you know, traveling around the world and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely it makes it a much easier conversation. In my head, this is how it happens. That the first show I do for anybody and they get a bottle of whiskey, then when the conversation comes up about the next show that they're doing, they say, who are we going to get? Is it the guy that gave you the bottle of whiskey? I think it's the guy that gave you the bottle of whiskey. Like, you know, just subtly implant myself in their brain as the good guy. Like, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's funny how this conversation just diverted into like, you know, what's your favorite like alcohol and stuff. It's crazy. You know, I was going to ask Sam, you know, I know this podcast is, you know, you're trying to find out about me, but, you know, maybe I want to find out about you, Sam. So I hope you don't mind the question to you, Sam. You know, what is your like go-to cocktail, Sam? You know, do you drink cocktails usually, or are you not a cocktail guy? Because I go to a bar sometimes. You know, you know, sometimes I don't want the beer. You know, I'll go for a nice, you know, passion fruit martini or something. So I don't know, what's your go-to?
So I really like an old-fashioned. Old-fashioned is just kind of where I'm at, and I think it's a really, really good gauge of a bar on how they do their old-fashions, because if you get like a bad old-fashioned, you're probably better off to go for like something easy, like a mojito or something like that, you know. Like, so I was just a little bit of background. I was a bartender for about 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jesus, I didn't know that.
Yeah, cool. It's just that sort of thing that you, if they're a regular bar that do cocktails, I'll try one old fashioned. If they're a cocktail bar, I'm kind of safe to kind of, you know, you can go Negroni or any other kind of classics. I'm not a huge fan of the heavy fruit cocktails and that.
Oh, whereas I am, Sam. That's where we differ. I love the, like, you know, the, you know, it needs to have, when I go to a bar and they don't, like, you know, they I don't know what to order. I went with a mate like a couple of weeks ago. I was just like to the bartender, you know, just give me anything, put passion fruit in that, but put lots of that in it. And he was like, you know, I got you, man, I got you. And he did some madness, but it was so good, man.
Yeah. Do you call it a porn star martini as well? I know that they.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, very good as well. Yeah. But you know, some places do it really badly. But you know, it's like you said. But what does the old fashioned consist of, Sam? Like, what's actually in it?
It's whiskey, bitters, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of water. Like, just kind of stir it up. So it's more about like making whiskey slightly sweet than doing like a rum with 8 pineapples in on top of it and like a firework on top. Like, you know, it's just almost kind of like bog standard. But then, like, because it's so simple, you can kind of add whatever you want into it. So you'll get like maple syrup or honey old fashions or sort of smoke and stuff on it, depending on where you go and that sort of stuff. But it's always, for me anyway, it's a kind of nice gauge about how the bar works, like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's sick, man. That's sick. Yeah, you know, the I wish I was a bartender, man, because you probably can make, like, you know, drinks on the spot very quickly, man. I've tried to. I think a long time ago I thought, you know, let me try mix some shit up, man. It didn't work. It's actually quite hard. You know, you can't, like, you know, YouTube gives you tutorials and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still, you know, it's like, you know, cooking tutorials as well.
Exactly.
You know, you can never get it exact. But yeah, no, that's cool, man.
But there's very simple ones. Espresso martini is like my go-to. If somebody asks me to make them a drink, it's espresso martini. We have a coffee machine downstairs. We've vodka, we've Kahlua. Like, just shake that bad boy up, put it in a nice glass, put a couple of coffee beans on top of it, and people go, "Wow, and you made this? Oh, wow!"
Are you know what? Speaking about coffee, Sam, are you a coffee person?
I love coffee. I genuinely can't function throughout the day without like coffee. Coffee is,
man,
like,
I love my drinks, man. It's so good, man. You know, like some people, you know, they're just quite meh about drinks, you know, like, like it's just tea, it's just coffee, it's just like you know, some vodka and Coke and stuff. But, you know, I love that shit. You know, if you've been working hard and, you know, you go out with a couple of mates, get some nice food, you know, a nice steak or a nice burger. I actually went to a burger place, Sam, in London recently that was like rated like top 3 in London, and I was just like, it's probably going to be another like shit burger place, you know. I am allowed to swear, sorry, Sam.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, no, I went to a burger place. It's called Honest Burgers, and I've never ever tried it. And everyone was like, it's really good. The Google reviews are really good. So I went there and I had a burger, bro. It was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. It was top tier, man. I feel like that's probably one of the best burger places that I've been to in London. You know, some people probably be like, he's like, you know, they don't agree, but I feel like, just in my opinion, Sam, top tier. If you ever come to London,
Honest
you need
Burgers.
to try that burger.
Yeah.
It's so good, so good.
Well, I'm definitely coming in March, man. There was just a big tournament announced. So my editor keeps giving me out because I'm dating these. I'm talking about specific shows and I say stuff like next week or last week or whatever, and he told me to stay away
is your
from
editor
them.
saying like, you know, you can't say that, or is he cutting it off?
He's saying stuff.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
He's like,
it makes sense because editing is like.
Yeah, because he wants to just if you click onto the video in a year's time, it's the same content.
It's relevant, right? Yeah. Man.
But I don't know, because I used to introduce it. I'm like, yo, Fuzzy Guard, episode 2, let's go. And he's like, yeah, stop doing that, just in case we don't want to release them in the order that you record them in, you know?
I think it's so hard, Sam, you know, editing. I didn't realize how much goes into it. Like, I know a few editors around, and yeah, it's crazy hard, you know, what they do. And, you know, the like, when they tell me stuff, like, as in, you know, you need to do this, you don't need to do this. It's like, I don't realize these things while doing, you know, recording and stuff, but when it comes down, it's like, oh shit, it makes sense, man. It really does. You know, shout outs to all these guys, you know, doing editing and, you know, video editing, photo editing, all of that.
There's some sort of wizardry that goes on there, man. Like, you know, like I've seen like photographers that take a photo of me, and like if I go to take a photo of myself, I look like a foot. And if they take a photo of me, whatever they do in Photoshop or something, I come out and I'm like, damn, dude, that's my profile pic straight away, dude.
Like when I go to events and stuff, you know, there's certain photographers that I'm like, you know, can you please take my photo, because they take some crazy good photos. You know, it's crazy how it's all about the angles, Sam, isn't it? Like, it's all about, you know, as in, you know, the correct angle to take the photo, and, you know, if you take it this way, then it'll come out this way and stuff. It's just so much, man. Like, in a world that I know nothing about that world, bro. Nothing at all, man.
That's some Harry Potter stuff right there, man. Like, I genuinely have no idea. But yeah, I mean, like, it's all kind of fun and games, really. Like, that's a weird thing about, like, thinking about how many jobs are involved in kind of esports that not a lot of people see. Like, esports photographers and, you know, even video editors. Like, I mean, if you think, like, every big YouTube channel probably, like, some of the bigger ones have 2 and 3 editors, but, like, every YouTube video you watch has an editor, probably. If it's getting over 500,000 views, it probably has an editor, like, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. There's loads of, like, you know, work put into that from like the editor side. It's mad. I could never be one. I don't think I have the patience to sit there for a couple of hours, you know, chopping little bits, you know, into and doing the transition on each one. I'll just stick to hell sweeping and, you know, just doing random hop kicks.
Although, wait a minute, I've been seeing your Twitter, man. You've been doing a load of commentary lately.
Yeah. But, you know, commentating, I think is really fun, man. So I mean, I think, like, you know, you've commentated many events over the last year, especially, and you know, you know that it's insanely fun. Like, when there's 2 high level players playing, it's crazy, man. And I encourage, like, people to, you know, to commentate more. You know, even I know there's a lot of people, like, out there and stuff. You know, players that maybe have come into the scene for like a year or a bit or something, and they're just like, oh, you know, I don't feel like commentating. I don't know if I'll be good enough. You know, you should try it. Like, you definitely need to try and do it. Like, and if you say something wrong, who cares, man? Like, you know, just fix it up for next time. It's not a big deal. And that's what I do, man. I've said many things. I think on my YouTube video the other day as well that I posted, someone was like, oh, like, you kept calling this back three when, you know, it's actually right flamingo 4-4 or some shit. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Like, I make mistakes, bro. I'm human, man. I you know, I'm still, like, you know, learning. But I think it's all about just enjoying yourself, Sam. It's all about, you know, just having fun, and watching good games is just incredible when it's like, you know, final pixel and they're both just moving around. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's probably different because, like, so I was a player for a little bit, but I never got to those points where I was, like, actually playing for kind of a decent chunk of change or whatever. So for you, I'm sure it's probably different because you can actually get into someone's mind, and you're with them in that moment, and I don't have that sort of insight. But It's really interesting the way you commentate. I really like it because I feel like if nothing has happened in a minute, you're able to kind of tell me, oh, he's looking for like him to do this move and then he can punish that or whatever. I've noticed you did that in ICFC a couple of times that I was like, oh, so he's backing away now, and you went yeah, he's looking for this move, and then that move happens and he punishes it, and I'm like, Jesus, that's some insight stuff, man.
Bro,
Like, you know?
I feel like Tekken and stuff, any game, Tekken, Street Fighter, whatever, like it's all about anticipating opponents' moves as well.
Of course.
Sam, it's you need to be one step ahead, man. Whereas like, knee is 3 steps ahead. He already knows, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a single jab into backdash. You're not gonna do nothing this time. But then if I single jab again, I know that you're gonna do this. And that's why they're like, these guys are so strong. And all it takes is one launcher and 60% and to the wall, Sam, and then you're mix-up time, 50-50 time, and Tekken 8 is going to be more, what's the word again, Sam? Aggressive.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be,
dude,
like you're gonna like maybe do, like, for example, Bob will do his, I don't know, down forward 1-2 on hit, and then keep systematic, and then you're in a raw 50-50. So you can't do anything, and you have to guess for your life. I think that's how it's going to go, but again, we have to see what Tekken 8 brings.
Absolutely. So how does one start in did you start in 7, did you, or was it 6 or tag?
I started end of 6. End of 6.
And did you, like, I mean, I feel like the common story is you played it casually, then found a tournament and got your ass kicked a couple of times, and then
I think my story's a bit different though, Sam. I think you're right. That's the kind of normal stories, like casual, you play casual and then you find a tournament, you go there, blah blah blah. But for me, it was a uni student that I was in uni. I think it was second year or something, and he introduced me to Tekken. I didn't know what I knew what Tekken like 3 was and stuff, but I'd never seen anything like it. Tekken 6, and we had a little games room in the center. And we would go there every day to play games: Tekken, Street Fighter, and Soul Calibur. Just those 3 games we would play.
Nice.
And just there, I kind of played every day, and I got more and more into gaming and stuff. And then there was this guy called Bubsy. He went to the same uni as me. I don't know if you, of course you know Sam.
Bubsy, the OG, let's go.
OG Bubsy, the absolute legend, and he was there, and I kind of got some, started a little rivalry with him, Sam.
Nice.
It was, he was there. He was always there. I played him. He was way better than me, way better. And that's how we became good friends as well, through playing Tekken. I really wanted to beat him. I bought the game, for Christmas. I remember getting, on Xbox, because I played on Xbox back then. And just grinding the game and wanting to get better in order to beat just him. I wanted to come into uni one day and just beat him up, because he beat me up constantly. And the day came where I kind of stood my ground against him, and then he was like, "Well, like you're improving a lot." And then the rest is history. I carried on, found the tournaments, entered, got blown up, entered again, got blown up again, like 8+ times, and then just carried on practicing and got to where I am now, man.
Yeah, I think the when you go 0-2 in tournament, when you lose every game, the difference between that and going 1-2 is such a huge step, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of people don't make it past that they go in and they just get absolutely blown up, and they say, all right, I'll try one more time. They get absolutely blown up and then never go back to a tournament again. It's the people that and like, just talking to pro players are in every game. It doesn't matter, dude, if you say like, all right, we're gonna throw stones at the wall, and whoever has the closest stone wins. They want to win. Like, it doesn't matter. It's this weird thing about that player's mentality, and it's the same across sports as well. It's this, I don't care what we're doing, but I'm about to beat you. No matter how long it takes, like exactly what you're saying, that you bought the game just to beat Bubsy in college.
Like, I really wanted to beat him.
Yeah, of course.
So badly. I was like, I have to beat this guy, bro. He's beating me up all the time. But yeah, just lots of training, learning the game. I was very bad, obviously, to start with. But you learn slowly, and sooner or later I got the hang of it. And again now, I'm coming top 5, top 8, top 9, in tournaments. So
nice.
It's it's a big change, but it was a long time, it took about 10 years or so, playing it, 10 years, I think, since I graduated from uni. But then, I had a lot of time there where I was just practicing and getting beaten up, and then went pro. I think it was like 2016 or I think 2016, 2017 when I went for, I was with District G, and I was them for 3 years. Big shout outs to them. They do their stuff in FIFA now, not in Tekken,
really?
but they supported me a lot. They paid for flight, accommodation, to European events for 3 years straight. I couldn't ask any more from them. Me, Asim, Kane, and Trench got to travel everywhere, and I think that's where my main experience came from, Sam.
Yeah, I think that's so important as well. Like just getting out and going to tournaments, and I think a lot. You see, from what I heard about the actual owning a team in terms of the FGC stuff, like flights and accommodation and stuff, that realistically speaking, you're at a net loss, unless you're Rocks, Dragons, or someone like
Team Liquid, like Razor and stuff.
What it usually is that big esports orgs will have a Rocket League, a CS:GO, an Overwatch team or whatever, and then they'll have 2 or 3 fighting game players on the side and that sort of stuff. But I mean, for you to be able to get flights and accommodation and stuff, that is so big now. Like, I mean, and
very lucky.
There's so many orgs popping up now, man. Like just city. Everything has a stupid name as well, man. Like, I don't care about 02 Esports. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, just get bare name, man. Like, the Dragon Killer.
What is like Reptile Killer and shit, man. It's just like, mate, come on, man. I think like that. It's a very good thing that you touch on, Sam. About esports orgs. I feel like people should know their worth in the esports scene. If you feel like you're like a very strong player and you perform well, then don't just join to an org that says we'll just promote you on Twitter, we'll pay 50% of your entry fee or some shit, man. It's like like for example me, like I've been approached by orgs that say we'll do this, but I still think it's not enough. And until I get someone that says to me, we'll do this for you, we'll do this for you, we'll do this for you, I'm not joining anyone until someone says something. I'm not going to sit there and just take 20% off like the hotel or some stuff like that, man. I'm not here for that. I can just pay that myself, man. But until like the right team comes, I won't be joining anyone, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I got sucked into that when I was like a very new in this industry. I got approached by an org and I'd never been approached at all. So I was immediately, yes, absolutely, whatever you guys need from me, 100%.
I think that's what happens at the beginning. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was with an org for a year and a half. They told me I wasn't allowed to shave my mustache, first of all, which I didn't like. I've shaved it off a couple of times, but
they said that.
Don't tell me that I can't do something, right?
Wow.
But yeah, because they got a graphic designer to do all these stream overlays and stuff for me.
That's what they seem to do. And I think before it was less like I think I did the same as well. Like I joined someone and it was just like it wasn't the best, but I was excited because it's someone new. First time someone approaching me, so it's very easy for people to be like, sure, I'll join.
Yeah, I'm a pro now,
Yeah, I'm a pro now. Yeah. That's the problem. And I think nowadays people are starting to realize, because of the the boom of Twitter and everything else, you know that you have to join someone that gives you as much as you're willing to give them as well. Whereas before it wasn't like spoken about too much. Like people weren't really saying you shouldn't be joining orgs if they're only offering you this. I never saw that anywhere. But now there's so much content, so much information out there, which is good for newer players, so they don't get roped into joining an org and them just using what's stopping us, Sam, like from starting an org ourselves? We could start an org and then go up to like new players. We could approach like maybe 50 of them and be like, I'm a pro like player, Sam is a pro commentator, and we'll say to them, we'll give you a t-shirt and just represent us. And that's 50 people representing our brand and new people that don't actually know what we're doing, like, as in they don't know anything. They don't know like our motives is to maybe use them for our personal gain. It's so wrong for companies and people to do that and to abuse their kind of their position in the esports scene and use it to manipulate, like, you know,
So if you
of new players.
absolutely, but if you think about it like a business, if I am just an investor, say if I've nothing, I've no idea about esports, I'm just investing in your org, right? Your players to me are billboards. That's it. I don't know who they are. I don't know their story. I don't know how hard they've worked or whatever. But if they make top 8 in a tournament and our logo comes in and you could show up wearing my jersey that has all of these companies down the sleeve and huge big logos on the back or whatever, that's you're a billboard to me. And like when you get signed to an org, I think you need to realize that how much is your position in tournament worth to, you know, any of the big tech companies that you see on jerseys or whatever. The reason they're there is because that player is being looked at. That's it. Like, you know. Yeah.
You're right. You're so right. Yeah, and I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad that it's being looked at a lot more now. You know, people know their worth. They're not just joining anyone. They're doing their research first.
Yeah.
You know, they're speaking to other people within the org. So yeah, no, it's good shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got so I'm FGC manager now for an org. And it was great. I was really, really happy to kind of get brought in, but I had a meeting with them before I said anything, and I said, just so you know, guys, what I do in commentary is entirely separate. You're not signing me as a commentator because that's a different discussion. I'm being FGC manager, and
perfect. Yeah, exactly. And that's what you need to do as well, man. Keep it separate, man. Like, you know, if someone wants to sign you as a commentator, then, you know, you need to be getting a good package for what you've done already. Like, as in, like, you can't be accepting just was it t-shirt, hoodie?
Yeah, man. A t-shirt and a hoodie. Like, I mean, hell's no, man. Like, I mean, like, you know, half my rent is paid, you know, just from commentary. So, I mean, if there's an org out there that want to pay the other half, I'm hella down for that. But,
like, if there's an org that wants to pay all my, you know, electricity and gas bills and stuff, man.
Exactly, dude.
Then great, man. I'd love to do that,
it's
man.
been a rough winter, bro.
Yeah, as long as the right money's there, then, you know.
Yo, Cloud9, where you at, bro? No, absolutely. And I think as soon as you separate the kind of the sort of weird glamorization that we have in our head of being sort of traveling, anybody involved in esports, because it's a coveted position until you actually see your 9 to 5 or your Monday to Friday, like, you know. So when people see that and this just sort of cool factor to it, once you take that away, it's like no, it's a job. We need to make money out of this. So if you're approaching me with some, like that thing of just putting the clan tag, that, you know, the 3 letters before your name, that became cool. Like, and
everyone wanted to have it, man. Everyone wanted to just join anyone just to have clan tags. But again, like I said, it's fine having your own, maybe a group of friends and you have your own clan tag. That's fine, you know, do your thing. But you know, just be careful to the newer players out there. You know, be very careful, like what you sign for, and make sure you read contracts and stuff, and, you know, work with brands. And if you do work with brands, you know, read the contract, read the small print. You know, like you said, one might say, "Don't cut your mustache," and it's like, what the. It's like, what? Someone might. So my one might be like, don't shave or anything, like, as in we want to keep all this. Like, I'd be like, no, man.
Or you're contractually obliged to hit 5 hell sweeps on stream. Like, you know,
exactly. Every time. Everyone would just be waiting for it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of kind of weird snakes in the grass in this industry. Obviously, there are some really, really cool orgs and stuff, and guys that came from the bottom, and their owner, like CMO, and all of these people were all ex-players, and now they're in the industry side of it. And usually, those guys are really, really cool and approachable as humans. Like, and then you get these other guys that, just as you said, sign 50 brand new players straight off.
And they offer, and some of them even offer things, Sam. They'll say, like, you know, we'll do this for you, we'll do this for you. And then what happens 2 months later? You send an invoice to them and their company's gone. Bro, that's the worst, Sam. There's loads of companies that have done that. You've seen it on Twitter. Like, you know, luckily, I've not experienced that in all my time. You know, I've not experienced anyone never paying an invoice. Every invoice that I've sent out has always been paid. I've never had to go to, like, Twitter and say, you know, why have these guys not done this? But, you know, some teams, you know, had promised everything to everyone, signed the biggest players, and then afterwards didn't pay out. Bro, it's an absolute mess. So it's so, like, important to be careful with these things.
I think it's because esports is such a new industry. Like, this doesn't happen in, well, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I doubt it happens in kind of the medical field. Like, that a doctor goes abroad to do a stint in a surgery overseas,
Yeah.
And then he's writing an invoice. Sorry to chase, but I sent an invoice 3 weeks ago. I'm wondering what the story is. I mean, it doesn't sound like, but I mean, everybody, literally everybody I've talked to in this industry has a story about not being paid for a couple of months, not being paid at all, having to chase down people and that sort of stuff. You know, it's just, I mean, I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're not bad people. It's just new industry, and everyone has
new industry. Yeah. I guess, like, you know, payments taking long. I'm used to that now, and all payments, I think in esports especially, they take, you know, 1 to 2 months minimum. Like, they're always like, but you know, it's fine. You know, the money's always. I've not had no issues. You know, big shout outs to all the brands. You know, I've worked with. You know, you know, they've never any problems at all. You know, with them.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a couple. I got asked to do a show by a cryptocurrency one time.
Nice.
They were offering me stupid money, and I was like, I mean, look, it sounds like fun, like, but what do you guys need? They wanted me as a consultant first of all, and a commentator for the end of the thing. And I gave them my rate for commentary, and they thought that was my rate for consulting as well. And I was like, no, guys, all right, so let's you want me to be a consultant for 3 weeks on a project and then commentate the finals at the end of it? I'm going to need a little bit more than that. But, like, I mean, to be fair, those guys were made of money. It was one of these Bitcoin millionaires, like, and
I'm glad how, like, we've kept to not mentioning any brands here. You know, whenever I say anything, I'm just like, you know, this brand, X brand, Y brand, Z brand. Like, there's been no mention of any brands at all here.
Dude, so
nothing at all.
With starting this podcast, I sent the first episode out to a couple of friends and stuff, people not in the industry, just to see was it any good. And there was one thing that I had a chat with about. C4, he's a really good commentator from the UK, but we were talking about why don't Lynx sponsor FGC events instead of Red Bull, right? And what I said was, instead of the Red Bull fridge, why don't they just have a Lynx thing where you can get little spray bottles and sort yourself out, right?
That is a very good idea.
Right?
I'm gonna steal that straight away. That's a very good. Not even Lynx, any, you know, deodorant.
Exactly,
country, you know,
some new deodorant company, like, you know.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
And you get like a free deodorant every time you walk in or something, man. It's like,
that's
you know,
it. That's it.
I think in any sports, like, they have their own brands. Like, why has esports not got their brands? You know.
Yeah.
You sweat in football. You sweat in, you know, in all these other games, you know,
sweating Smash,
Tekken, like,
Smash.
yeah, exactly. in all games, man. So, yeah, no, you know, it's a great idea as well.
Yeah,
Sam,
but
sure.
I think it was just a thing of, like, do you know what you were saying, not mentioning brands or whatever. So he sent me back, and, like, the feedback he gave me, it was like, no, it's really fun. I had a lot of time. Should you be mentioning Red Bull by name? And I was like, their budget is a couple of million, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know if, because I said Lynx instead of Red Bull. If I went to go push that hashtag, then maybe I might get in trouble. But it's just, you know, it's just,
they got millions. Yeah, these companies are just are incredible, man. They're making so much money, and they're involved in, like, you know, esports and many other things, you know, as well, like, you know, racing as well.
Yeah, dude, everything cool that you can think of, Red Bull are involved in, like, you know, cliff diving.
Skydiving as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Skydiving stuff they do. Bro, it's like, I wish I could do skydive. I've never done it before, so I wish, like, I could skydive. Would you skydive, Sam?
Fuck no, dude. I'm terrified of heights, dude. I love sitting in planes and looking out the window. That's what I love. If somebody opens a door.
I've recently been really scared of flying, Sam. That's something that's been very recent. I've never been scared of, like, you know, I'm 31 years old now, and I've never been scared of flying. But last year, I've literally been terrified because of turbulence.
Really?
I felt some crazy turbulence on the way to Amsterdam. On the way to Amsterdam for a Tekken tournament about a couple of months ago. The plane was literally flying through clouds, and it free fell. It just went like that for like 3 seconds, and the air hostess just went flying up.
No way.
Like, yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, they were hurt because, like, they were at the back, you know. It wasn't serious. Like, they obviously got like a little cut or something. No one. It was horrific. It was horrible, man. Because I literally felt like I was, because I had my seatbelt on. I felt like I was like coming out my seat, and it was fucked. Yeah.
Holy
and the whole plane
shit.
was like screaming and stuff, and it was just horrible, man. And then, like, I think,
dude, I have to get on a plane to Amsterdam in 3 days. What the hell are you telling me this for, dude?
The thing is, this time, you know what I did specifically? Because I'm flying with Asim. We booked tickets next to each other. So I'll have him to distract me if anything goes wrong. I think the other times I was flying on my own because I was doing a few, you know, commentary stuff. And, you know, playing Tekken abroad and stuff. So I had to travel on my own. But this time I'm flying with Asim. So I think with someone it'll be cool. But bro, the turbulence has been horrific, and you know it's something that's been said, you know, on the news and stuff, that turbulence is increasing, you know, global warming, all that stuff. You know, planes are getting more unstable, but not unstable to the point where it'll crash. Like, it'll never crash. It's never happened before where a plane's crashed due to turbulence.
Really?
Yeah, never in history. It says there's never been like an issue with, like, you know, a plane being blown by the wind into something.
Okay,
but yeah, no, as in turbulence is increasing, but it's completely safe. But I'm still really scared, bro. I'm super scared, man. Dude, I just want to get on that plane and get on the ground as quickly as possible.
Like, I tell you what, like, so I've cracked airports, right? Just in the last since I started getting booked for international shows. There was a point there where I was on a plane every like week and a half or something, right?
Yeah.
All it is a big set of Bluetooth headphones, right?
Yeah.
And any audiobook, and you sleep for maybe 4 hours the night before. I don't care what time your flight is at. If you have a 2 p.m. flight, you wake up at 6 a.m. or something. You tire yourself out. You get to the airport and stuff, because then you just put on some audiobook or whatever, and you just KO. Like, just fall asleep. As the plane lands, it does that, and then you wake up and you're like, oh sweet, we're here. Nice, no problem.
Yeah, I think when I went to Combo Breaker, I think it was I slept like the whole way. I think long haul flights I'm fine with, because, you know, the plane goes up. It's a big plane as well, right? So less turbulent. It goes above the clouds, and then there's nothing up there. It just literally goes. It feels like you're not even flying for like 10 hours. It's only when it comes down a bit you feel it a tiny bit, but yeah, no, Sam, what do you do on the plane? Like, you know, if you've got, you know, for example, to Vegas, you went to commentate Evo, right? Mm-hmm. That must be like an 8-hour flight, maybe more. 10.
I think it was like 11 hours in total, but it's like so I'm going Dublin to New York to Vegas. So I think
cool. How was that? How was like the journey there? Was just fell asleep there?
Man, it was mental. So yeah, I fell asleep on the first one, but then because it was my first time in America as well. Like, so I was like, hey, let's go, dude, I'm a show, you know. So I got off, and I had like maybe it was an hour layover in Newark. And so I got myself a pizza, because I was like, everyone's talking about American pizza. It's the same. Whatever. I don't care. Man, hot take, but we have good pizza here in Ireland, dude. Like, you know. But so I jumped on the plane anyway, right? And I swear to God, right? So this dude... So I'm in a row of like 3, and I'm on the window. I see this dude walking down, right? And he has like black greasy hair tied back in a ponytail.
Yeah.
He's wearing some anime t-shirt and a pair of fat mans that are split. One side is orange, one side is black, and there's all kanji down one leg, right? And so I said, that guy's definitely flying to Vegas for Evo, 100%, right?
Yeah.
And so he sits in beside me, and I was just like, you look like a fighting game player. And he goes, I am a fighting game player. This American guy, he was taking the Newark to Vegas flight or whatever. He was there for Evo. Was he a Strive player or something? I can't remember. But we ended up just chatting the entire way about Evo. It was my first time in Vegas. It was his first time in Vegas as well and stuff. Yeah. And it was just, so like, I mean, I think for Evo is probably a different thing, because like that was my first big show. Like, I had done a couple of the big European ones and that sort of stuff, but this was like, you know, Vegas, like, you know.
Yeah. Vegas. Vegas is an amazing place. When I went there just to chill, like a long time ago, many years, back when I was like 20 or something with a friend. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But Evo must have been sick, man. I think Evo is like something that I have to do, and I think, you know, I might not be able to do it for Tekken 7, you know, but Tekken 8 is on its way. I would love to go to like maybe the first ever Tekken 8 tournament. You know, You know, Vegas for Evo, man. That'd be incredible, man.
Dude, genuinely, like it's like something you've never seen before. Like, I mean, like a UFA was kind of. You did UFA, didn't you?
Yeah. UFA,
so it feels very much like that, except when you leave the big arena in UFA, you're kind of out of it. Whereas in Evo, you leave it and then there's just stalls and stands and everybody's talking about it and like, oh, that's JDCR over there, that's Nee over there. Damn, man, that's St. Cola down there, like, you know, and you get to meet all of these. It's insane. Like, if you imagine,
that's what's going to happen for the Tekken World Tour final. Sorry to interrupt you, Sam, but that's going to happen for, you know, it's like that's Nee over there, that's JDCR, that's Chanel, that's Sephi Black, that's Super Akuma, like this. You know, that's Joker, that's Chaos. There's too many. There's too many. It is players there.
Crazy, man. Like, I mean, the future of fighting games is looking great, and I'm so happy to be like just coming up right at this time. Like my first
because
world
Tekken 8 is gonna boom, and when Tekken 8 comes out, I think it's gonna be a different ball game, man. They're gonna put a lot of work into it. In my opinion, you know, people are quite, you know, people are comparing Tekken to Street Fighter, right? You know, Street Fighter has done a lot of things right. Like, way too many things right. They've not really put a foot wrong anywhere. You know, maybe some people complaining about the music. You know, I see a lot of complaints saying, you know,
if that's the biggest complaint,
I think that's the biggest complaint I saw. Is someone saying, you know, this doesn't sound like Ryu's theme. Like Ryu is he's a like very, you know, Zen character. Like, why has he got some rock music? You know, for like that doesn't make sense, right? That's like the only complaint that I've seen. But in terms of, you know, the lobby mode, you know, where you can walk around and and go into the lobby and like imagine like you playing Tekken 8 and we're in a lobby, right? And I can say, oh look, that's SamDDing over there. Oh look, that's you know, Super Akuma over there chilling. Let me go and play him. Like, it'd be incredible. And Street Fighter's done so many things right, man. Tekken now has to surpass, you know, Street Fighter if they want to, you know, be the best, you know, fighting game of that era.
We had it easy
all the Tekken modes.
For 7, we had it easy for 7, man. Like, cause 5's launch, Street Fighter 5's launch was just not great. Like, there was a lot of players that came from Street Fighter 4, which is a really, really good competitive game, and then 5 came out and their launch was not great, and 7's launch was insane, dude. That was so good. They hit all of the boxes that they needed to check at that time. So we, for Tekken 7, Tekken players were eating good, man. We had main stage shows. Street Fighter was kind of to the side. They learned their lesson. They've been biding their time for Street Fighter 6, dude. Did you see the WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble thing?
Yeah, Royal Rumble. Yeah, they advertised. That was sick. Imagine like having like you know, Tekken combined with like WrestleMania or something, and having, you know, someone dressed as King, for example, and promoted. Bro, even if King comes in as like a support character, you know, a person to support like you know, one of the main people from the WWE roster, that would be sick, bro. How many people would go crazy if you did like giant swing in the ring or something?
Dude.
And like that's 1 million views very easily, like for Tekken, you know. So I hope they do, you know, do a good job with this. I have faith, man. I have faith. They've probably seen the competition. They know what they need to do now. Anything less is not going to be like, you know, the fans are going to be quite upset if they don't go as far as, you know, Street Fighter has gone. Yeah,
absolutely. Speaking of weird advertising, you must tell me the story about how your dad got into painting some pictures for Tekken, because I mean that's we both started in the ICFC at the same time, I think, and then it was, I think it was it season 2 or something?
I think they had it from season 1. I think.
Oh, was it?
It was from season 1. Yeah, I wasn't commentating in season 1. I commentated in season 2.
Right.
Season 1 they had it straight from the bat. Yeah.
Right. Okay. How does that happen? Like, I mean, because obviously your dad he must be a painter for a long time. For anyone that doesn't know, at Tefino Art, insane. Like, just one of a kind custom paints of the Tekken stages. They're insane. Like.
Thank you, man. Yeah, but they I think it was you know, it was Christmas, so my dad gifted me a painting of Bob. You know, my dad does a lot of paintings. He's been painting for 30 years plus, and he gave me a painting of Bob. My family decided to do that. Very kind gesture, you know, very like, you know, I had no clue. They were really smart. They put like the gift somewhere where I could see it. I thought like I was really smart in like finding the gift. I was like, oh, it's behind the TV. What is this? And they actually like put something so it made it look like it was like a table tennis, you know, the mini table tennis thing. Yeah. They tricked me into thinking that, and I was like, oh my god, I know what it is now. Yeah, but they actually like reverse trolled me, because like they put it in a place where I would find it, and then they did something to make it seem like that. I had no clue, Sam. I had no clue. And then I open it and I see this Bob painting, and I'm like, holy! I was like, this is sick. This is my first time my dad has like delved into like kind of gaming, right? And he's done this, and I'm just like, holy, like fuck, this is crazy shit. So I posted on Twitter. I'm like, you know what? Like, you know, big thanks to my dad, man. Like, as in, he's done this painting. I think it looks sick. Blah 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 blah, and then it just blows up, bro.
Yeah.
This is sick. This is sick. This is sick. Like 100, like, you know, retweets, thousands of likes as well. It goes mental. It goes mental. And then all of a sudden, I get, you know, ICFC come to me and they're like, you know, how much is the price for us to have these as you know, prizes? And then done. And then, you know, we gave them everything. They were like, yeah, let's go ahead. And then, you know, 2 years straight, Sam, all prizes, you know, for ICFC. Good. You know, think a total of like maybe 20 plus, you know, paintings for the winners. So yeah, you know, big shout outs to Tenno Media that did the thing, man. But yeah, that's how it started, bro. That's how it.
But it's so cool. Like, I mean, obviously, like, does your dad kind of, who, like, when it comes down to, because obviously it has to kind of keep in the realm of Tekken and stuff, like, do you kind of say like, oh dude, that would be sick to do or whatever, or does your dad kind of look at stages from Tekken? Like, how's that process? He literally
just, he looks around and he, you know, he's up to date with the scene and stuff. He always watches, you know, Tekken tournaments. I think in his free time he enjoys, you know, watching Tekken.
That's so cool.
And yeah, he just kind of comes to me and he's like, oh, I've started this. Like, I don't go up to him and be like, you know, do this. Like, as in he works and does his own thing, and he paints, like, you know, in his spare time. But you know, if he sees something cool, then he'll be like, oh, you know what, I feel like doing this, you know, as a hobby, like spare time, blah blah blah, does it, and then, you know, I post it on Twitter, and then, you know, for the world to see. I think recently he had this crazy idea. He just came up to me randomly. I think it was a week ago. He was like, you know, I feel like maybe doing Harada. Like, I feel like just doing, like, you know, just kind of Harada and seeing, like, you know, if I can pull it off, you know, Harada's famous pose, this one, you know, as in he was like, you know, I might attempt to do that, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, that would be sick, man. And, you know, again, he picks, like, he does it in his style. I think that's one thing that my dad's very, like, you know, very adamant on. It's like, this is his style. It's like, if someone does not like the way he does painting, he's not going to change his style. Like, this is the way he does things and the way he paints in terms of brush strokes and stuff. And you know, this is what people, you know, if they want to commission and stuff, this is the way that it's done. And if they don't like it, you know, you can find someone else to do it. So I think that's, you know, I really admire that he sticks to his guns, and this is the way, and this is how he's going to do it. Yeah,
absolutely. Kids, listen up, kids. He's a real artist over there, man, and he has his style and he sticks to that.
I think he's working on, like, a piece, a Square Enix piece, from Dragon Quest, I think. Will be coming out soon. It's for the winner of a giveaway.
Nice.
But yeah, like, I've got in contact with Square Enix as well, and they're really chilled guys, and they've been very helpful as well. So, you know, hopefully it's well received by other games, and I think that's what my dad wants to do in the future. You know, delve into all these other games and experiment with different things.
I mean, dude, like, I mean, like the when they started coming out, I remember, because I think it was Kwis had won 2 of them or something, and we were on, like, a pre-show, and we were just chatting or whatever. And I could just see one of the paintings, like, behind him, and I was like, oh, is that the thing, like, or whatever. And he like showed it and stuff. Dude, they look sick. It's just the coolest thing to have that unique, one of a kind, like, painted, like, as in, like, somebody put work into it. Like,
I think that one as well with Kwis, it was super weird, because that was, I think it was season 1 or season 2 where Kwis won the whole of the ICFC, but he won it on that stage. Like, that was the final stage.
Really?
A million gates, and he won it on that stage. So it was just mental that he became, you know, the king of Europe, and won, like, you know, the painting, and that's the stage. And these are not just, you know, gaming pieces. You know, if a person walks in and sees it, you know, all they see is, like, you know, the roses and the, you know, the pink, the cherry blossom or whatever is around, you know, the mountains in the background. They just see an image, and there's a great, you know, conversation starter. You know, oh, that looks sick. How did you come about this painting? And then, you know, I won a Tekken tournament, blah 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 blah. But yeah, they're more than just, you know, Tekken paintings, man.
That brings me back to the question I ask every guest: how do you explain to your parents what you do? Like when you say I have to fly to Italy or whatever, why?
I think, before I think it was a bit like, it was like, oh, why, blah blah blah, like, because then, I was a lot younger before, I think so. Whereas now it's a lot easier, but to explain, I'm going to this for this. They've seen me like, live as well.
Sure.
And they kind of, realize, this is his passion. There's no more like, as in, you're potentially wasting your time doing this or anything. If they know I enjoy it, and it's the way that it has to be. And all my friends as well, big shouts to, all the people around me in my life. They're very good people, and they all accept. They're all like, always encouraging me to go further. And yeah, like it's really cool, man. I just kind of do my thing, and if someone doesn't like it, it's like, who gives a fuck, bro?
But back like, when, go on. Sorry. I don't want to.
No, that was it. That was it. Basically, saying, who cares, right? As in, I do what I love. I'm not going to conform to any, like, nor maybe like, I don't know. Some people think that, it could be potentially weird, being in this kind of gaming kind of world.
It is weird. First of all, it is weird.
Yeah, I think it is. I still think about it. It's kind of strange, especially the stuff that I see on Twitter. It's like, this gaming world is a bit, it's a bit strange sometimes. It's a bit like, there's a lot of odd things that happen. But again, I just try to play the game, Sam. I just want to play the game. I just want to have a good time. People don't come to my stream chat and talk shit, because, I don't tolerate any of it. You say something wrong, you get banned instantly, man. It's like, just come to my stream, chill out, have fun. And that's all I want to do in my little, like, kind of bubble. I don't want to get involved in any of, like, any of this bullshit drama and stuff.
Yes, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about. But if your grandparents, I don't know if you still have grandparents, but if you have grandparents and you say, oh, I can't go over to my niece's bar mitzvah or whatever because no, sorry, I have to fly to this, and then they say, why? What do you say?
Well, yeah. I think a good thing, because I don't actually have a lot of family in this country, Sam. Most of my family are in Peru and Argentina.
Oh, let's go.
Uncles, aunties, cousins, everyone. It's actually just me, my dad, mom, and sister here in the UK. So I guess like the closest person would be like my godmother. It would be very difficult to, she's actually Irish, Sam, as well.
Let's go.
She's Irish. Yep, she's Irish, and very, 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 very good lady. She's been very kind ever since I was very young, and it'd probably be kind of hard to explain to her. I think the easiest way to explain, Sam, is like, oh, I go over to compete in like a type of like competition, like which involves like a game. I don't actually say specifically like fighting games. I just say it's like it's a competitive game where it's similar to, I compare it to the World Cup, as in like there's groups of like 4 or whatever, 2 go through, and then it's elimination all the way to the top.
That's a really, really cool way. I think a lot of people do bring it back to soccer. Maybe it's just because I talk to too many Irish and UK people, like, but everybody asks, even like commentators, they just say, oh, it's like football. Do you know, in football when you have the 2 guys talking over the game, like, but it's funny that you relate it back to the World Cup structure.
Yeah. I think it's similar, because I always compare like, pundits and stuff and commentators to like, us guys as well. It's, I think when you're in the spotlight, it's very easy to say something, and then you get a lot of people, in the comments saying,
I don't know if you've seen Twitter, but people don't like me very much. I'm like, I got a guy one time just said, worst commentator. That was his only comment. Worst commentator.
I feel like everyone has their opinions, and it's it's going back, Sam, to the thing that you said about it's a weird, it's a very strange world. We live in this bubble where especially us guys, again, the people that are on the front, of the, it's like football as well. The Gary Nevilles, the Roy Keanes and stuff. It's like, they get it all the time. If you check the comment sections from them, it's like, oh yeah, like Roy Keane is the realest guy ever, man. Like he says it how it is. Like he doesn't bullshit. And then they're like, oh, this other player is like, he's just fucking, biased towards his team. Like there's just so much shit going on, Sam, right? And that's similar to us. We say something, someone will say, this guy's talking shit. I get it, bro. I get it a lot as well. Like underneath comments and stuff, it's like, what's this guy saying? He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like, who cares, man? Like we just do the thing, and we're always going to get, I think especially, us, Sam, and other people.
Any public facing internet.
Any public face is going to get like, a lot of love and a lot of hate. And I think it's something that people need to understand. And you know, it's something that people need to learn how to deal with. I'm like I said, I'm 31. I've seen a lot. I've been through all that shit and whatever. And I kind of like now. It's just like if I see something, I'm just like it's whatever now. I don't care.
Dude, I need that zen, man. Because when I see that shit, man.
Me and Spag, I think, was it me and Spag? Me and Spag a long time ago. I think there was you know, I'm not gonna go into like the dramas and stuff because I've been involved in loads of fucking drama back in the days. Not anymore. I was more feisty back in the days. Like, I was more reactive. I was more like, you know, this person says like, oh yeah, Rookang's this, like, fuck you, man. Like, what do you know? Like green rank, whatever or whatever. Like, as in, I was a lot more like fiery. Sam. Now it's not. I'm not as much. I'm more chilled. But I think the kind of phrase that me and Spag came up with was "let them scream into the void." And that's stuck with me my whole life.
That's good.
And I think Sam, just let them scream into the void. You know, they'll scream endlessly into a void of like whatever. You know, it's just completely irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Let them scream, and you know, I'm here. Like you're there talking shit and being a troll and doing nothing. So like, you know, I don't care.
Yeah, it was I interviewed Super Kuma one time for something. I can't remember what it was, but like I asked him, I was like, what do you think about, or what would you say to somebody who said that you're carried by your character?
Oh, he gets it like, a lot right.
I know, I mean, but Super Kuma is the bad guy of European Tekken, but like he said, like to me, he was like, if I'm carried by my character, you should pick up the character and be carried to fame and fortune like I have done. And I was like, unbelievable. Like the guy is good at Tekken, like, you know, and he's just saying
he gets it a lot, Sam. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, Sam. I think Super Kuma is one that gets it a lot, and you know, he's a really nice guy. He's I've chilled with him. He's so nice.
Super Kuma is a really nice guy, and that's something that not a lot of people know, because all they see is this backlash from the shit that Kuma sucks and do it without a meter or whatever, and he's just like, fuck you, like, you know, I just won the tournament, like, you know. So people don't know that he's a really nice guy, like.
Yeah, there's certain people that get it really hard, and you know, it can sometimes maybe get a bit much for them. Potentially, you know, we don't know what happens behind the scenes, you know, how Super Huma feels. But you know, he's just going to carry on playing the game and doing what he does. And winning. And if he's winning tournaments, you know, I feel like this is what I always ask to people, Sam. I'm always like, you know, if like a genie came up to me and was like, okay, you know, the next 5 years you're going to dominate in Tekken, but you have to pick a Kuma, and you'll come like top 3 in every tournament. Oh, bro, I'm taking it. I'm like, I'm gonna be like, sure. If I'm dominating Tekken, I'm at like in the forefront, winning everything, playing Akuma. My execution's not very good, that's why I don't play Akuma. But if the genie gave me like these execution powers and stuff, then
Korean hands.
Sure, I'll take it, bro. I'll take it, man. And Super Akuma's taken the opportunity, and that's why he's where he's at now, man.
Absolutely, but like, I mean, I think he's just good at video games. Like I played him a couple of sets in Dead or Alive, and he absolutely smoked me. Like it was not comfortable how bad I got bet. And I said to him, I was like, how did you know I was going to low there? And he just looked at me and went, because I'm good at fighting games. And I was like, it makes sense, like, you know, I mean, but like, if you see his neutral, take away Akuma, like, take away any of that meter, fireballs, any of that weird stuff that you see. Like, because I think people get warped by the clips that are made. And like, do you know, if you watch every one of Super Akuma's games playing Akuma or whatever, like, he doesn't rely all that much. Like, okay, so the jump is one of the things that he does quite a bit, but
yeah, definitely,
his neutral is dangerous, Holmes.
It's good.
Like,
it's good as well. You're right, Sam. You're right. Like, because when you watch him properly, you know, people seem to just clip the, you know, 2-bar meter 80% damage combo with Rager.
Cherry berry mango thing, like, you know.
Yeah. But there is times, like I was the other day on my Fight Club. He was against a Peruvian player called Sergi Master, who's absolutely amazing, #1 in Peru. And there was a lot of times where Akuma, you know, Super Akuma was just playing neutral and playing very safe, not even jumping once. And you know, it was quite confusing because I'm used to him jumping all the time. You know, very, very, very good gameplay from Akuma. And people don't see that, you know, that side really. They see, you know, the robberies. But, you know, again, everyone has their opinion, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it is a bit there is a bit of robberies with the combo. You 1 bar of meter, 10 frame launcher. Come on, man. It's like, who else has a 10 frame launcher? No one.
I knew I was gonna have difficulty steering the conversation away from intricate Tekken. Like as soon as you say 1 bar meter, 10 frame launcher, those words don't make sense in any context outside of fighting games. Like
exactly. Only like Tekken players and fighting games players would know, like, you know, what that means and the damage that has done, like, to many people. Absolute rage. People rage so hard.
Did you see it was somebody, I can't remember who tweeted it out, but instead of, do you know Michael Murray's Twitter is, it's something Mike Keru or something. I can't.
Yeah, Mishi Maiku Keru or something. Yeah.
But he accidentally tagged an author, Mike Cole, in this post about Paul should have less pushback on his death fist and this sort of stuff. Like, it was, but like, for anybody who's in the Tekken scene and they read that, they went, okay, I understand your point. Your point might be valid, like, whatever. But because he tagged an author, the author, like, and he's like a famous author, Mike Cole. I don't know him, but he put under and he said, it's so bewitchingly close to English. I've read this like 50 times already, because and if you read that without a fighting game brain, it's almost, it's like somebody who just learned a couple of English words and tried to pretend like they could speak English, like, you know.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
But I think it was it fucking Dan Brown or one, like a famous author, commented underneath it. He was like, this is absolutely nuts or something. Was it something to do with a snake edge as well or something? I can't remember.
But absolutely mad, bro. Absolutely mad. Yeah, you know, outside of Tekken, I think they wouldn't know these things, man.
No,
it's crazy.
Nobody's gonna know meter burn. Like, you know, if I say Akuma's, like, as you said, like one bar a meter, 10 frame launcher, that doesn't make sense outside of what we know.
What we know, I think one Twitter post that I did before was, you know, people clowned on me for it so hard, and then it came true. So again, this is, you know, anyone watching this podcast, it, you know, it's just a, you know, quick thing to say. That, you know, post what you want. You know, if it's your opinion and you believe in it, then do it. Who cares about what people say about it? I said Bob should have a crouch dash 1 launcher. His down 1 should be safe, and he should have a 15 frame launcher. I posted these 3 things on Twitter, Sam, and 2 months later, it all happened. Crouch dash 1 became natural hit launcher. He got up forward 4, which is a 15 frame launcher, and down 1 went from -11 to -9, and it was safe again.
How funny is it that we're talking about how people aren't going to understand?
And if you're
1 bar meter, 10 frame launcher,
if you're not a Tekken person, you know, you will not understand what I just said. All this is in English, you know, in plain English, is I requested
Rookang
something.
Can predict the future. That's what.
Yeah, I can predict the future. I requested something, and everyone said that's never going to happen, and it happened. So I'm an oracle, basically.
Oracle Rookang, let's go, dude. You can't call yourself Oracle. There are 2 players now that are called Oracle. One of them is Oracle, but it's like Oracle because he has the O thing, and then there's Oracle 96. So you can't be Oracle Rookang now.
I can't, man. I'll just have to stick to Rookang.
Rookaracle.
Rookaracle. That'll be cool.
I mean, it's always fun, man. Like, I really enjoy talking to people in the esports industry, because there are so many, like, it's especially fighting games, man. Fighting games are like the niche of the niche, like, you know, that esports as a whole thing. I mean, I know we're worth however many billions as an industry in total, but they're always off to the side, like, you know. And then fighting games are the niche part of esports and that sort of stuff. So even within the niche of the niche, just from talking to a couple of people in this sort of long form, like, you know, that say whatever you want to say, you get so many different opinions about the exact same concepts. Do you know, like, we all just play a video game, which is crazy to think. Like, that's so silly, like, in my brain when I'm on a flight to somewhere, that somebody has paid for my hotel at the other side, that it's for a video game. It doesn't make sense in normal human conversation. But
it doesn't. You're right, Sam. You know, it still even hits me sometimes. You know, I'm like, you know, I don't do commentary like, full time, like, for example, you, Spag, and some of the, the other commentators. I do it like, on the side. I'm still like trying to pursue, being a pro player as well. I want to keep, playing Tekken at the same time. But yeah, it's still quite surreal to me that someone would message me and be like, you know what, like, we need you at this event here. We'll pay for your accommodation, your flight, and we'll pay you for your time. And then it's just like, if you explain that to someone else, they're like, they'll be like, this is bizarre. Like, because then you're getting paid to basically talk for a long time. And big shout outs again to all the organizers that I've worked with, because they've actually given me the option to play as well. They've been like, we'll pay for you to come here and here, and you can also play in the tournament as well, which is a big bonus because I can still like pursue both sides. But yeah, it's still like, it'll never sink in that like I've had the opportunity to do this, even if I don't get anything else in the future, and I start performing really bad, I get cancelled for some reason for saying some bullshit on stream, I still like, I'm really happy for the opportunities that they've given me, Sam, and being able to do what I've done as up to this moment, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy, like, to think that, like, I mean, we could have been out playing football or something, like,
we could have been doing football, like, yeah, we could have been doing anything, Sam. And even we stayed together, Sam, with Spag at Only the Best. That was great,
dude,
man. Going to that was nice, having a coffee in the morning.
Coffee I've ever had in my life.
That coffee was and it was so small, and it was mental coffee, and the food there was great. The bakery there was great. The event was great as well. The hype,
the pistachio croissant. That's what's up.
That's the one.
That's what's up, dude.
That was so.
Man.
It was such a great experience. And again, it's crazy to think, like I said, people are paying you to go out. Big shouts to Bode, who organized Only the Best as well. It was a great event. But yeah, it's surreal, man. It's surreal. I think that's why everyone always says like, oh, like you're so lucky to be able to do.
Dude, don't even start. I hate that word. Luck is like people who can't do what we do call what we do. Like, so if I told you you're so lucky because you get to play Tekken, no, you're absolutely not. I don't know your story, but take all of those hours of practice you did and throw them out the window, because it's a gift. You just got given this.
No, you're right. It's not not luck. Yeah, it's not luck. You create your own luck. Basically.
Exactly.
You have to go out there. You have to put yourself in that forefront. And I think one thing there as well, I was always doing commentary, like, but maybe once every 6 months or something. And then Tenno Media came out and they were like, would you like to do it? At that point I had the option to say no, because I don't think I'm don't think I'm good enough. I don't know if I could commentate with these guys that were already doing it, or I could say yes and then work on it and get better. And I took the path, the saying yes, and all of this is because of that, because of that commentary. People are saying do this, do that, and it's it's hard work. It's not just luck. It's not like if you sit there and do nothing, it's never going to happen. Like, and I think you actually have to go out there and try at least. And what, Sam, when you're like 60 years old, when we're all 60 years old, we'll be looking back at life and we'll be like, like I'm really happy that I did that. Like, imagine if you said no to certain things because you were maybe slightly uncomfortable or slightly scared. I'm sure, Sam, there's been many times in your your life that you were maybe slightly scared. Day. It's like shit. Like, can I do this? Can I not do this?
Dude,
but we'll look
back
and we'll be like,
commentary, fucking everything.
Yeah.
Getting on every plane I've ever gotten onto. I'm like, imposter syndrome is a real fucking thing. Like, I should not be doing this show with Tasty Steve. Like, I've done sets with Tasty Steve, and I'm like, how could I possibly be the stupid white Irish guy next to Tasty Steve? Like when I started commentary, I used to watch. First of all, I used to watch Spag and Bubsy as they, used to rock that stuff. Like season 1 Tekken 7, season 2 Tekken 7, that sort of stuff was dominated Spag and Bubsy. I didn't know those guys. Those guys were celebrities in my eye. If there was a magazine that came out that said Spag just broke up with his missus and here's the photos, I'm like, I'm buying that magazine, man. They're celebrities to me. Like, you know?
these guys are you're right as well. And even me, like I used to watch the dinosaurs and the dinosaur
Asim,
and
all of the boys,
Asim, Wogus, Dinosaur, you know, some of the Harry Potter, you know, Malekith, all these legends I used to watch, and I used to be like, you know, I wish I could, you know, play on their level, man. I was in uni, you know, having my, you know, pizza with my friends and, you know, just eating and chilling out, and I was always like, maybe I can you know, do some damage in Tekken and be like that. You know, it'll be a long road, but I put in the work. I did as much as I could, whilst, you know, working and doing stuff outside of Tekken, and it paid off, bro, man. It all paid off, man, and I'm really happy. You know, I'm not saying I'm the best player in the world. I'm by far the best player in the world. But I will, like, you know, give it my all. And, you know, if someone wants to beat me, you know, in a tournament, you're gonna suffer a lot before you beat me in that tournament. I'll give it everything, you know, my heart, soul, everything. So yeah, you know, I'm happy, man. I'm happy where I've got to. There's still more work to do, but I'm trying my hardest. We need to try and just, you know, get better at everything, man.
Absolutely. Well, I think there probably wouldn't be a better place to end it than right now. Rookang, I want to say it's been such an interesting chat with you right there. Just from the two sides, from the pro player to the commentator to the connections you've made and that sort of stuff. It's been super, super interesting, man. Thank you so much for coming in.
No, thank you, Sam. No, I really enjoyed it, man. I think these podcasts are a really good idea, you know, to delve into the minds of, you know, different players, commentators, you know, even fans, you know, Sam, I don't know, again, who you're doing podcasts with, but, you know, all these different types, you know, of people, you know, they see stuff in different ways, and to have a conversation with them about, you know, real life stuff, mix it with Tekken as well. You know, I think you'll always go back to, you know, the fighting games that we can't run away with it. It's like it's part of us now. Like we can't run away from that shit. But, you know, it's been super fun, man. I really enjoyed it as well, Sam. So, you know, thanks for having me on, man.
Awesome sauce. Well, thank you so much. Rookang, ladies and gentlemen.